It's cool, man. I got a nice graduating class. I'll say that. Hey, what's good, y'all? It's your boy Leon Thomas, and right now I'm sitting down with MTV, and I'm about to answer 20 questions for 2025. Way past the breaking point, 'cause I can't turn down the noise. You are my only choice, and we're both just feeling void. Growing up in New York, Broadway's always been a really big deal, and to get thrown into being on Broadway at 10 years old was definitely a crazy experience. But Broadway raised me. Theater showed me how to work hard and to be a, professional, and a lot of the creative people around me definitely helped show me how to get things done and really have that great hustle behind what I do. I definitely had a lot of time to still be a kid. I was still going to public school, so I would do a Broadway play on a Wednesday night and then wake up for a Thursday morning class, homework ready, so it was all good. My first Broadway play was Lion King, and then I did Carolina Change and Color Purple, produced by Oprah. It was pretty crazy. It was a crazy 3 years, definitely very life-changing, yeah. It was showbiz boot camp, and I got to kind of see how celebrities were moving, from a lot of them coming to visit and see the shows, so it was pretty cool. We had Bruce Willis pop by, Stevie Wonder, Sting, really amazing. Eddie Murphy came by a show once. It was pretty dope. Yeah, one thing that really sticks with me from a lot of the on stage moments that I had growing up is just preparation. We would rehearse for probably 2 months at a time before we would start a Broadway play, and I like to keep that same mindset when I'm preparing for my live shows as an artist now, or even when I'm studying for lines for a movie or a TV show. I really take the time to be as prepared as possible. Music was the fifth family member of our tribe. So my stepdad was a really amazing guitarist and producer, so he had a studio at the house. My mom was also a singer, and there was constant musicians coming in and out of the house, jamming, recording records. It's really what kind of had me fall in love with music itself, just kind of seeing people love what they do and make a living doing it. I get my love for jazz from my mom, and then a lot of the funk and rock and roll came from my stepdad. But even my grandfather was an opera singer, so I got kind of hip to a lot of classical music growing up pretty early as well. It's kind of random, but it's definitely a real thing, a part of my upbringing. So I think all of those different blends play into who I am as a musician and as a producer. And I'm just happy that I had that amazing soil to grow from. Because my mom was also in the industry, she was definitely always on set with me and locked in. She knows how crazy the industry can be. So she was very protective, but always gave me room to be myself and grow and really learn from myself as well. But it was always good to have my protector around. My mom, shout out to her. She really held it down, kept me grounded. August Rush was probably one of my favorite projects of all time. That's where I got introduced to playing guitar, which turned me into a songwriter at 12, which was really cool. At that point, I only knew about 4 chords, so it's just about as many chords as any frat boy in college. But it was nice to finally have a way to write songs without needing a producer in the room. After that, being in the recording studio for the first time as a singer in the booth was for August Rush. So it kind of sparked my love for seeing myself as an artist for the first time. Shout out to August Rush for introducing me to my storytelling instrument. The guitar to this day is you won't see me do a show without it. Being in that movie with Robin Williams, God rest his soul, Terrence Howard, Kerry Russell, Jonathan Rhys-Meyers, I was around some really top tier actors. And doing most of my scenes with Freddie Highmore at the time. He was in Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, so I was a big fan of his previous work, so it was cool to vibe with him. I had to learn Spanish for La Bamba, which was a random fact. I'm not very good at Spanish, but I hope I didn't butcher it too much. Yeah, thank you. Yeah. I mean, I got my little pre-show ritual. I think it's important to stay hydrated. Coffee's a thing. I like to pray right before, but then I'll also do a meditation. I've been into these focused meditations that are guided, kind of breathing, can kind of wash away any extra anxiety you may have because it's a big deal. It's just nice to kind of have breath enter the room. I don't want to sound like too much of a hippie, but it works, y'all. If you're really trying to get something going, meditation has definitely helped me. Keke was the only other lead on Nickelodeon who also was melanated, a black queen. So growing up, we were really good friends because we could identify with sometimes being out of the loop, being an all-white cast sometimes. And I really just appreciate her friendship through our growth period. She's such an amazing entrepreneur as well as a creative, and she definitely inspires me. She's a true boss. And it's really cool to see how, corporations are making a lot of the black actors and actresses feel more comfortable on sets these days. I think there's always more that we can do. I mean, I know she fought for making sure she had a hairstylist that really knew what she needed, and it's something that I even kind of worked into my deals later on, watching her lead the way with that.
I love to make jokes, and I also got an athletic side, so I play basketball with him, and we hang out.
You missed one major point.
What's my major point?
Musical genius.
Okay. Thank you.
Leon is he's so into music, he doesn't even realize that he's into music that much because it's like a part of him.
At that time, Keke wasn't signed to that Columbia Nickelodeon record deal that I was on, but we both were making music in our teens, and our moms were really good friends too, so like we would go over each other's cribs, and at my crib we had a studio, so she would always see me when she came over to my place, like working on new music, trying things out. Still really learning how to be a producer pretty young, but I was obsessed with creating things, and that was a really nice thing for her to say back then. I actually saw that interview pop up on my feed, I wanna say like a year ago, and it's really cool how your friends can speak positive manifestations on your life, and she always saw me as somebody who could really make it in this thing in music, and it's cool to see everything kind of work out in a real way. But of course, as you're growing and things don't always work out how you think they may, you can have self-doubt, but working through that and just learning how to just treat my subconscious, my inner voice to be nicer to the future of what I could be was a great learning lesson. And I'm glad that right now I'm at a place where I'm about as confident as I ever could be, and really stepping into my purpose. There's a lot of great things on the way for me. I mean, the day I met Ariana Grande, the whole cast was meeting at her house for, I guess, our first like hangout session. They wanted to do like chemistry stuff with us, so they decided to just have us all go to her crib to kick it. And the day we met, we had a sing-off, which is like kind of random. It's almost like a dance battle for singers. And she's doing riffs, I'm doing riffs, and that was the second I knew. I was like, oh no, she different. She did some whistle tone stuff like Mariah Carey. I said, oh, you got it. Yeah, bow down. But over the years, we really became really good friends. When she was getting her first recording studio at her house, like, we went to Guitar Center and I helped her pick out like certain things, and we would always talk about music and production and old artists that we really liked. That's like a really good friend of mine. So it's cool to see her grow into who she became, and even me, go on to win Grammys and really be a professional. Yours truly was a great example of us just coming together. When she came by the studio, I was just throwing a party, and I happened to play her a couple records I thought that she would sound good on. Ended up on 4 songs on a #1 album at that time because of her. So that was my first time really getting a taste of success behind the scenes, and shout out to her for giving me that chance. It's cool, man. I got a nice graduating class, I'll say that, As a creative, it's really expensive to rent out studios, and when I met Babyface, he really saw something in me because, I was coming in with my written songs on the acoustic guitar, and really a big fan of R&B, so he pretty much gave me an A room with an SSL board, a grand piano, and an amazingly expensive mic to work on a lot of my first ideas when I was like 18, 19. And he let me have access to that studio whenever I needed it for years, almost close to a decade of just still to this day going over there to create music. And having that playground, that musical playground, was the best thing he could have ever done for my creative growth. And I owe him forever for that, because that was really a very beautiful moment for me. In that same studio, we had a session with the wonderful Issa, and she came by, and we had a song and an idea kind of prepared. She didn't really like that first idea, so as a producer, when an artist comes in and you have an idea prepped for them and they don't like it, it's like go time. It's fourth quarter, you gotta figure something out. So we made a beat from scratch in the other room, and she was going to the bathroom, overheard it, and took that instrumental into the next room and wrote what we now know as Snooze. And It's funny, I have a voice memo on my phone right now of us sneaking a little recording of her first demo. Cause like big artists never let you leave with the song. So that's the only way you're gonna be able to hear it, just in case they never decide to put it out. And I would always remember like being at the house, like listening to that, you know, horribly recorded in my pocket voice recording of SZA's first demo of Snooze. But it turned out to be a great song, and I think everybody in the room felt the same way, that it was a really special moment. So I'm glad people liked it. In R&B, a really great barometer of the culture is when an HBCU uses your song for homecoming, when they're doing the marching band stuff. Like when your song makes it to a marching band, you know you cooking. Like, you know something's up. So, you know, shout out to the HBCUs. Y'all let me know this thing was actually gonna go somewhere. So thank you. I mean, I've been nominated for a good amount of Grammys now, and never really walked home with a trophy. She was nominated for like 6 or 7 different things, which means it was highly possible that they would give her a Grammy on something that I wouldn't take home a trophy for, and I would just get like a plaque or something later on down the road. So I wasn't really too hopeful walking into it. I was just kind of chilling in a black tux, like with the homies hanging. I didn't even have my mom there with me. I had my homie there thinking it wasn't gonna turn into anything, and boy, was I wrong. You know, I walked away with something that changed my life forever, and I'm so grateful for that opportunity. It was a beautiful surprise, to be honest. You know, it's funny because like my boy Chris Riddick Tons, who's my production partner, was sitting right next to me with the other producer, BLK, and he was like, "Man, let's rush the stage. Let's get up there. Let's take this moment." But I was literally like holding them back because I was like, nah. We need to let Solana have her moment. Have that shine. And we all got our shine right after that. It was beautiful to take the pictures backstage. It was my first time being backstage at the Grammys. It's like an unknown world where they have like a whole press team and staff, and there's like a million pictures and interviews, and it's a big deal. It feels really surreal, just to let y'all know. It's kind of crazy, and I'm definitely looking forward to hopefully having that moment again one day, for sure. I'm in the process of signing one person right now, and I'm looking forward to signing some more people, more so I can just have a helping hand in protecting them from some of the negative deals and patterns we go through as creatives through the process. I think there needs to be more protectors that are melanated like me who could say, don't sign that, try this. Matter of fact, you should do a whole album with this artist. They're new, but it'll work better than doing a big song with a big artist, because it's really interesting when you grow with an artist and you're making music with them, similar to how like I did with Ariana. Like, it's a really good stamp on what you can create and what you can be around in the beginning. And I want to help do that for other people. I would really love to do a record with Mos Def. That would be awesome. Like, I'm a huge fan. I actually did a song a minute ago with Drake and Jay-Z on a production level, but I'd love to do a song with Jay-Z where I'm on the hook and he's rapping. That would be like next level. And I know I'm going with like a lot of the OGs, but I'm 31. Like, I'm really trying to, scratch some things off my bucket list at this point.
She said, take your time, what's the rush? I said, baby, I'm a dog, I'm a mutt.
Listen, so I'm working on a deluxe right now. To be completely honest, I have no idea where that's going. I know it's like I've got great ideas for it right now, but when I get back to LA, I gotta get cooking for sure. So I'm really excited to put the ideas I have in my head on wax, get everything together, and deliver it to y'all very soon. For me as a creative, I try not to put too much pressure in the world of deadlines. I think it's better to just make sure that when the art is ready, it's delivered. I'll take it. Thanks, guys. Appreciate that. But I'm really just doing my thing. I'm having a good time. I'm a fan of classic R&B, but I'm also a really big fan of a lot of alternative R&B artists as well. So I don't know, I try not to put like a label on what I do just in case y'all try to pigeonhole me later. So I'm just vibing right now, and don't be surprised if I come out with a rock album. Okay, cool. Well, I was just a fan of the first season, watching it, and I remember telling my boy, I was like, yo, I want to be on this show. And a mere year later, I have an audition for it, and then 3 months after that, I'm doing my first sex scene with Issa Rae. I'm like, whoa, man, had me butt ass naked. That was nuts. But yo, it was really fun, and she's an amazing person, and it was super cordial, like after every shot, you know, like really cool. But yeah, nerve wracking. I was meditating. I was doing push-ups, like guzzling mouthwash, like stressed, yo. But nah, it was really fun, and shout out to Issa Rae for giving me that opportunity for sure. At the time, she even put my song Favorite in some of the other episodes after mine, and shout out to her. She's such a fan of good music, and I'm a real fan of the entrepreneur she is. I mean, from the clubs to the coffee shops to the wine that she's selling. I mean, I'm trying to be Issa Rae when I grow up, for real. Like she really got it together. I'm loving how she's spreading out into different things, and she really inspires me. There was this kind of Spider-Man moment. We were sitting parked on the West Side Highway, and I was doing pretty bad in school at the time. It was like my first time getting like a C. I'm usually like a B+ A student. So he was like, hey man, listen, you gotta focus on the word next. Think about what's next. And he's like, it's easy to play a dumb person on camera, but you can't fake being smart. And it was my first time like really thinking about that, and it inspired me to read more and to care about being not just a great creative, but a good human. And I wouldn't be the man I am today without a lot of his amazing talks and lessons. I actually just went to his funeral yesterday, which is random you brought it up today, but yeah, he's such a big influence in my life, and shout out to John, man, shout out to John. Getting casted in Victorious was like a big moment. I just remember my family going out to eat and just really, really staring into each other's eyes, so happy. My mama's smile was a special sight to see. The 2025 chapter is gonna be filled with amazing shows, Billboard chart topping songs, and more content for me in the world of music videos and even just on social media. I'm trying to tap in, touch the people. Yeah, let's get locked in. Hey y'all, thank you so much for watching, and thank you so much for showing love to my new album, Mutt. If you haven't checked it out, go take a listen. Peace.